So I first started engaging with machine learning and AI in my academic work as a student. So I was studying in computational linguistics, so looking at areas like machine translation, language processing, that sort of thing. And this was in the late 2000s, and working with machine translation systems like Google Translate and others really made it very clear to me that this is a significant tool that can really change the way that we work as academics, how we learn, how we teach. And in my role as Associate Dean for Education in the Faculty of Arts, Design and Architecture, I really see this also resonate with our students and our academic staff, that once they learn a little bit more about AI tools, they realize that they've been using them for quite some time. So, not only have attitudes changed in society and among students and educators and institutions, but also we see increasingly professional associations, accrediting bodies, and so on, trying to engage with AI. I think there's actually quite a lot to be learned from this journey in translation studies, as I've mentioned, where in just a decade, the industry has changed entirely. From a more generalized skill set to a very specialized skill set, where there are more jobs, there are more high-paying jobs, but only for those who have really embraced technologies and can demonstrate to employers that they are flexible, can apply the knowledge and skills that we teach them to a range of different applications and use these technologies in a very critical and agile way. I think it's really, really important to give disciplines that agency to be able to understand there are some fundamental skills that are really important that students are able to acquire and practice and apply, but there are also then perhaps even more advanced skills where tools like ChatGPT and other areas can become really, really effective. In our postgraduate programs, we initially had part of one course that would teach machine translation, which grew into one course, which grew into two, which grew into these skills being embedded across the entire program. And that's what I think is really, really exciting. Because then it's not just confined to the areas where we see application, but is a fundamental program learning outcome for our students and something that we embed across the curriculum. On a very small scale, there are efficiencies that we can actually make in terms of academic administration, day-to-day business, where tools that we have, like automatic transcription, can really, really help just save time on these very generic, low-level tasks. Those are the ones that are more easily replaced or even perhaps done better by AI tools. So we're experimenting a little bit more about how we use these in the day-to-day business of the faculty. But the greatest impact has been forming our response as a faculty in terms of looking at the principles behind what it is that we're trying to achieve in our learning and teaching. Looking at where we want our graduates to be placed in the industry they go into, and even as people in society, and what sort of knowledge and skills we want them to have in a world that's going to change over the coming decades. So many people ask me, will ChatGPT kill the essay? And this, I think, is a really exciting question, because ChatGPT and other AI tools, being disruptive technologies, as I've mentioned before, cause us to take pause, to take a step back and look at those fundamentals of assessment and design. What's really, really important is, as I said, going back to the fundamental of why do we have essays? And many times when we ask people about that, it's a really rich opportunity to give students really intimate feedback on a really significant piece of work. And in many of our disciplines, the best way to do that is still in this long form essay. And I think it's really, really important to allow that space for that to happen. So I think it's really, really important to allow that experimentation of the variety of assessment tasks in courses, but also to look at what we know ChatGPT and other tools can do well. And as I mentioned, this will change every year, so we'll have to look at this every year. and being able to change the task to suit that. I think it's really around embracing change and being, as I say, critical and creative and collegial in how we embrace that change.